What's going on, everybody? It's Mike here from AHC Garage. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with episode number 2 on Brian RSX Type S. Now before we can get started on this video, we need to get this car started. And I think the alternator is shot, and guess what? We're in Florida and it's raining while it's sunny on the back. Let's get started. All right, man, we finally got the car started. John, what do you say, man?
Well, Brian said he wanted to drive the car home because he likes driving this car more than that guy over there. So he went to drive it, and it's like we jumped it. But I got a little voltmeter on this jumper. I really like it. And you can see this thing keeps jumping from 14 to 12.7. And as soon as you turn the headlights on, it loads the alternator up and it stops charging. So before we can do anything with this car, even get it to a point where Brian can drive it, we have to put a new alternator in it and probably a new battery too. I don't even know.
You know what the unfortunate thing is? The alternator is no longer available.
Yeah, right? That's what you were telling me that. What did you end up getting, like a Denso or something?
Well, Denso is not available. So the closest one I get, I always get a remanufactured AC Delco. So you're gonna match really well with this battery right over here.
Oh yeah, that's another high quality product on this vehicle right here. That sweet battery that doesn't hold a charge.
John, literally 2 minutes ago, it was raining, like literally raining.
Oh yeah.
And it's nice and sunny right now.
Yeah, just enough to make us start sweating over here in Florida the way it is. You can see, look now, look, 11. It keeps dropping down. It went to 11 volts, 14, 12.
I think it's a good idea getting in the shop right now before it dies, huh?
Yeah, I don't want to push it.
Well, you drive it, I'll go and open the door for you.
All right.
All right, so we got a car up in the air. What do we got to do, John?
So in my experience, when these cars come into the dealership and we have to change an alternator on it, whether it's a base or Type S, the easiest way is to pull the T bracket out. That's what holds the hood latch here, and to remove this cooling fan or condenser fan on the right side here. So I usually start by having the car up in the air. I remove this 10, and I also unclip this harness where it's attached to the T-bar, and I'll unplug the fan and the AC bracket, because this fan comes out and that'll give us all the room we need to pull the alternator out through the top.
Do we even pull off the cooling hoses?
No, you don't have to pull none of that off. It's actually pretty simple. It looks tight up top, but once we get everything off down here, man, this thing goes so quick. It's easy. All right, so we got the T-bracket out and the fan out, and it really opens up the alternator here. So we know we're gonna be able to get this thing out pretty easy. So in the shop here, we don't want to cause more damage than that's necessary. So if you look here, you have the core of the radiator just exposed. And if you're taking this out and you drop it and it hits this, it's gonna put a hole. So one of the guys here at the shop has had this piece of cardboard cut for TSXs and RSXs, and this has probably been on about 2,000 or 3,000 cars over the years, and we got it. It goes just like this. Some low, I don't know, some low quality technology. It helps save everything. Not like the OGs. The OGs can teach you something.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Yes. All right, so nothing but the best for Brian. Apparently AC Delco is the best nowadays. You know, I would say go with Denso, but I don't think Mike and Brian are up to my level right now.
Ooh, wow.
Or they're just trying to make best with whatever they can do.
Those are strong words you're using.
Listen, man, Brian's not here to defend himself, but you are, sorry.
Yeah.
But
I'll take it.
so we got this one out, and this thing, if you look at them side by side, it's literally looks like it's every manufactured factory unit. Even the insignia on this cover. So I'm pretty happy with the quality on this thing. We're gonna go ahead and throw it in and see if that fixes our charging problem. If not, Brian's gotta break out the big bucks. So we got the alternator in, it's all hooked up, belts run. Now we're gonna go in reverse order here, put our fan back in, put our T-bracket back in, plug everything up, and see if this thing will hold a charge or not. We know he can actually start driving it now, but you know, he's probably not gonna, because he's a busy man. All right, so now we got this in, the alternator's in, it's charging. We made sure we're gonna need a new battery. I think one of the cells got cooked on here due to the erratic voltage of the failed alternator. So the goal with this car is a little different than our TL Type S that we did with Brian before. We're gonna be doing stuff like an alternator repair, maybe some other stuff like suspension, interior stuff, but we're gonna keep this car mobile. He's gonna be able to continue to drive it till we get to the point where we're gonna take it down and do a big service on it. That's one thing with some of my cars, I like to make sure that I can enjoy the car and not lose track of why I'm dumping all my time and money into it. And I think that's what we're gonna do with this. So I'm pretty sure on our next one, that's what we're going to be looking at. The next step on this one is the suspension. That'll be our next step. And I think it's going to be very, very nice.
All right, so we just took apart this Raceland coilover that came with the vehicle. We do need to use the upper head for both front and rear Tein coilovers right over here. Now, as I take everything apart, a lot of these components are missing. So what we're gonna do is we have the factory stock struts right over there. We'll go ahead and grab those two rear struts. We'll bring it to the spring compressor. We'll go ahead and reuse the factory OEM unit. Then we'll swap that over onto the Tein. Bring it down. And we are all done with the back. We actually raised up the back about ½ an inch higher than how it was before. Next up, let's go and work on the front coilovers. All right, guys, we are all done with the rear coilovers. Now we're gonna move up to the front. Now, before we remove the stock coilovers or the aftermarket coilovers up in the front here, we have our Tein Basis, as you can see earlier, but along with that, we have a set of brand new turning plate along with the bearings. So pretty much up front could be all new. So we go ahead and assemble these right here real quick before we remove the aftermarket coilovers off the car. Then we go ahead and slap these on. And these are the coilovers that came off the vehicle. I don't even know what brand they are. I never seen them before. Oh, wait a minute. Can you guys see it? Raceland? Have you guys heard that before? I never heard of that brand before. You guys comment below and let us know if you ever heard that brand before. But regards to the fact, give you guys a little backstory about our RSX here. So during our test drive, Brian and I, we noticed a heavy clunking sound at low speed, especially when you're turning. And while we got the car up in the air, we took a look at the suspension here, and we knew at that point the suspension had to go. Looks like the previous owner or the mechanic, they sprayed some white lithium grease on the upper bearing parts over here, hoping, I guess, to eliminate the sound. Obviously, that didn't help. As you can see, these coils are pretty old. These rubbers are deteriorated. So regards to the fact, we got some new coilovers here. So let's go ahead and throw this on, and then put the wheels back on. We gotta adjust the height, maybe a 4-wheel alignment, and we should be good to go. And guys, we finally got the car back on the ground, and we're super happy with the height without any type of adjustment. It's exactly what we want. Now, before we get the car to the alignment lift, we do have one more things to finish on this car here. Now, the car been sitting in the back of the lot for a few months. We haven't had time to work on this car here. And the unfortunate thing is the idle air control valve is no good and causing idle go up and down. The good thing is we got a brand new OEM one that we gotta swap out. So let's go ahead and remove the cover and then the intake along with the throttle body, then we can go ahead and swap it out. Okay, so here we have our idle air control valve or IAC valve. As you can see, quite a bit of carbon buildup on this rotary valve here. Now, I don't really have good experience cleaning them and they end up coming back, have the same issues. So I always just go with the OEM unit. Aftermarket unit, the same thing. You put it on and always a problem. Hey, listen guys, nothing better than OEM. Yes, they are a little bit more pricey, but hey, you're not gonna run into any issues. So here we have the old one and the new one. Look how nice and clean that is. So next up, let's go ahead and put the new gasket and put everything back together. And guys, we got this DC5 idle for about 5 to 6 minutes so far, almost at its operating temperature. And take a look at the idle. It is solid. The idle air control valve definitely fixed our issues, and hopefully moving forward, we're not gonna have that problem again. Now, with the four-wheel alignment, we're gonna hold that off because we want the coilover to complete settle before we do a four-wheel alignment. So we're gonna hold off for about a couple of days. But as far as today, we're gonna wrap today's video up. I hope you guys like what you see. Make sure you guys are subscribing to our channel and also give us a thumbs up and drop a comment below. My name is Mike, on behalf of AHC Garage. Thank you so much for watching. We hope to see all of you next week.